James White, Boxing Social, in association with Empire Fight Store and R Kings. I'm here with Adam Smith. Adam, great night of boxing in Liverpool. Just sum up the night for us.
Yeah, really good night. Jack Turner's the guy I'm going to be going home thinking about. Fantastic prospect, thunderous display. As for the main event, loved it. I thought TJ Doheny was brave. I thought he started really well. I thought Nick Ball had trouble sort of assessing him in the first 3 or 4 rounds. Doheny was boxing really well on the back foot, but Nick worked it out, put the aggression on. I thought TJ was brave beyond. I thought it was the perfect time to be pulled out. I thought the corner made an excellent decision. He can hold his head high, TJ. It was a fantastic effort to try and wrestle that featherweight title, but the legs weren't quite what they probably once were, and obviously he was up against a very strong guy, and I thought Nick adapted really well. He didn't lose his head, apart from a couple of times with the kick and the wrestle, but what I mean is he didn't lose his head in terms of even though he might have been behind 2 or 3 rounds, he got himself back together, and he was always pressing the fight, and he showed how strong and relentless he is at featherweight. I thought his inside work was fantastic tonight. I think he'd have learnt a lot, and it was a really good fight and a great night. I thought, really enjoyed it.
Relentless is definitely the word. He just kept on coming in, Nick Ball. TJ Doheny gave a real credit to his performance. I want to know your view on the first round. After the first round, the kick from Ball, how did you see it?
Well, at first I just saw TJ Doheny rolling around, so I wasn't quite sure what happened, but looking back at it, it looked like Nick was in a bit of a headlock, and then he kicked out, maybe back to his mixed martial arts days, taekwondo days, whatever, but no, he shouldn't have done it, and he was lucky not to have a point taken off, I thought. And then when he wrestled TJ down again, then he was warned. But the second time he did, it wasn't quite as bad as the first time, but I think the referee rightly took off a point there. I mean, he had to be deducted something for the 3 infringements, and I think he just sort of lost his head a bit. I think he was really frustrated in the first round. TJ made a really good start, but no, I mean, obviously he'll learn his lesson from that. He's got to stick to the rules, but he kept his head, and I liked the way he went about it, and Paul and Nick came up with an adaptable plan, and they got the distance right, and once he'd done that, TJ was in a bit of trouble because his legs weren't quite what they were 3 or 4 years ago, probably. And but he was so brave tonight, TJ Doheny, so courageous, and to see him in tears at the end, it just shows what he put into it. But excellent corner work, excellent gutsy challenge, and a good defence of his world titles for Nick Ball. And we should wait before we pitch him in with someone like Noah Inoue. I think he needs to just reset. It's more ring education, maybe go for unification in the featherweight division, but Inoue's a superstar, and he's got to be better than he was tonight if he's going to go anywhere near Inoue, I think.
That Inoue fight, it's different to tonight's fight. Ball wears hearts on his sleeve, comes forward. How does that fight go?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't take it now. I don't think it's a fight that they should be thinking about for at least a year. I'd have a couple of other, maybe unification or another defence. Nick's still learning. He's only been a world champion for a while. Noah Inoue is a special fighter. He's been a world champion for a long time at many weights. Yes, he'll be coming up to featherweight, but the guy's a superstar. I'm not saying Nick Ball can't put in a really good effort against him, but at the moment, on that performance, he needs just to go back, and Paul will know, they need to go back to the gym, work on things, and he's not ready for that fight yet, in my opinion. But when that happens, it will be absolutely brilliant, because Nick will give it everything, and we'll see what Inoue's made of. But no, not yet for me.
Moving on to Kane Edwards. What did you make of split decision?
Look, it was a very difficult fight to score. We were all split at ringside on TalkSport. Gareth had it massively wide to Kane. I thought Charlie Edwards won a few rounds at the beginning, at the end. So I wasn't surprised it was a split decision. I thought Kane probably just about deserved it. I don't think Charlie wrestled the titles away, and I think he'll kick himself a little bit. But I don't think Andrew Kane was worried about Charlie Edwards' power. So ultimately, there was a lot of negativity in the fight. It was a strange one, but I think just about the right guy got it.
If you were in Kane's corner during that fight, what advice would you be giving Andrew Kane?
Well, I think he should have pressed more. He just stood off at times, but I think he was just trying to get Charlie Edwards to engage, and Edwards was boxing to plan, and I think he boxed really well, but he started to get hurt. He lost his rhythm and his range a bit, and he just got way too negative for a challenge. So I think that's where he made his mistakes. But yeah, maybe it was age, maybe it was the extra strength at bantamweight for Andrew Kane. But yeah, ultimately he came through and he gets the win.
Just quickly as well, I know you've got to be somewhere, but I want to know this new boxing league. What are your thoughts? Is it good for boxing?
Investment and changes in boxing are always interesting and good. I think that this is a fascinating one from Turki Alalshikh. Welcome Dana White to boxing finally. I'm sure it'll be great. I think it'll take time to really get going, exactly what their plans are. The world has changed since His Excellency has come in the last year and a half. The best are fighting the best. Fans are getting what they want. So we don't want to sort of deviate too much from that. We want to keep that, but the idea of a league is good. Maybe a one champion and a sort of one belt thing. But boxing's a complicated sport, as we all know. There's many promoters, many governing bodies, and there's a lot to work out. So I think a big plan will take a long time, but in the short term, I hope that everybody works together, and it's great for boxing.
Alan Smith, always a pleasure. Thank you.